it's Ash from Super Videos back for another video. In this video we're going to be talking about the possibility of a Glenn return in Season 8. So the showrunner of The Walking Dead, Scott M. Gimple, recently did an interview where he basically said that there's a possibility that we may see Glenn obviously as a flashback scene. Now, before I actually get into the article and read it for you, I just want to give my thoughts on this idea of us seeing Glenn in Season 8. So, obviously in 7/16, we had these flashbacks of Abraham, which were pretty cool. I actually enjoyed them. They were overplayed a little bit, but I enjoyed seeing Abraham and Michael Cutlets for that episode, which was basically a tribute to Sasha, and Abraham was a part of that tribute, so it made sense. Now, for Glenn, it doesn't really make sense for us to see that unless it's something related to Maggie, and I don't see anything related to Maggie. I don't think she's dying anytime soon. So the only reason I would see a flashback would be if Maggie's baby was being born. It would make sense at that point for there to be a Glenn flashback. But since Season 8, or the majority of Season 8, will be all out war, I don't see any space in there for there to be a flashback of Glenn. And just to add to that, it's too early for Maggie's baby to be born in Season 8. So because of that, I just don't see it being in Season 8. Maybe later on, for sure. But in Season 8, I just don't see a flashback of Glenn. But that being said, I would love to see a Glenn flashback. Glenn was one of my favorite characters. It would be very cool to see him again. Now, just to get to the article. So the article comes from comicbook.com. It's basically an article about an interview Scott and Gimple did with TV Line about seeing Glenn, actor Steven Yeun, on The Walking Dead in the future, and he said that it's certainly possible, continuing to say it'll be silly to say it isn't. And then he basically goes on to say that we're going to see a lot of war in Season 8, so there may not be a lot of time for that, which is basically what I said. And he also says something very interesting where he says that there is the time skip in the comics and a lot of things happen in that time skip. The baby is born during that time skip, and we may see some things in that time skip that we didn't see in the comic book. So that's very cool. So just to summarize everything and just to give my thoughts, I think it's definitely too early for Maggie's baby to be born in Season 8, and because of that, since that's linked to the flashback that we may see from Glenn, it's unlikely that we're going to see a Glenn flashback in Season 8. So maybe later on, perhaps in Season 9, while Maggie's baby is being born, or something along those lines. And just to highlight something about the time skip, in the comics, of course, they don't show any of the time skip, as Scott M. Gimple hinted at here as well, but I don't want there to be a lot of episodes during that time skip, because to me, that time skip just shows you the transition from the war to when they rebuild. So if they don't have any time skip, it might not work. It might not be the best in terms of storytelling and to follow the comics. They can do it, but it's just gonna be weird a little bit. For comic readers, you kind of have an idea what I'm saying. But I definitely do believe that it's possible for them to come back to some of the things that happened during the time skip. Not actually show what happens during the time skip, but come back to it with flashbacks and things like that. And I think that's exactly what Scott M. Gimple is referring to here. I don't think that they're actually going to fill up that space where the time skip is in the comics. I think they're going to show some things that happened during the time skip with flashbacks. And of course, in those flashbacks, we may see more flashbacks of even older things, like when Glenn was still alive, which explains the flashbacks of Glenn. But I just thought that was very cool that he actually addressed this and that he said that we may see Glenn in the future, which is very cool. So that's basically it for this video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and share. And also, if you want to stay notified about activities on the channel, make sure to like the social media Facebook page for the channel. The link is in the description. And a reminder about the special event I'm having. So I'm planning to do a live stream, which is going to be like a road to Season 8 special event. So we're going to talk about everything from season 7, what we liked, what we didn't like, and also what we want or expect to see in season 8. It's like a discussion, question answer type of live stream. And that's going to be Saturday, April 29 at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And it's going to run for an hour. So make sure to check back here at that time if you'll be interested. I'd love to chat with you guys in the live stream and get your thoughts about what we saw in season 7 and what we want to see in season 8 and where we go from here. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back for another video.